Hosted in conjunction with CRIISP Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi and welcome to another CRIISP TV Q&A. Today I'm joined by Stephen Plakotaris, CEO of Dr. Mark's HyGenie. Thank you for joining me, Stephen.
An absolute pleasure, Sidney. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you again. Obviously, we've had a brief interview before, so we're going to have a bit of a mix-up of old news and new news, as they would say. And to start with, how about we give the audience a bit of a briefer on who Dr. Mark's HyGenie is and what you're offering to the market, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. And again, thank you, Sidney, for the opportunity, and I appreciate Wholesale Investor giving us the opportunity to present our story to the investor marketplace. So Dr. Mark's HyGenie is a business that was started in October of 2014. Dare to say it was more of a project that started in 2014 to solve a worldwide hygiene problem. And that is the oral hygiene and aftercare of removable dental appliances. So anything that goes in and out of the mouth temporarily, such as a denture, an orthodontic retainer, clear aligners, a night guard, sleep apnea devices, and sports mouth guards are typically cleaned, protected, and stored poorly. That hygiene or lack thereof of hygiene and aftercare is a predecessor to poor oral health. Poor oral health in too many cases begets oral disease. And oral disease is inextricably linked to severe maladies, health maladies like cardiovascular disease, respiratory pneumonia, maladies of the mouth, the throat. All as a result of poor oral hygiene, which in way too many cases worldwide is a result of poor care or aftercare of dental appliances. That is the business we're in, and that is the problem that our brand, concept, and products solve.
So it's obviously a very worthy problem to identify. Worthy in the sense that you've highlighted a distinct link between that oral hygiene and the elements that follow that. Now, do you mind talking to us about the solution that your business and your venture has come up with to solve that specific problem at that specific point?
It's worth noting too, Sidney, that what we're talking about is an addressable market of hundreds of millions of dental appliance users around the world. For example, in the United States alone, there are approximately 85 to 88 million users of removable dental appliances on an annual basis, and that's just the U.S. alone. So it is a worldwide problem that is widely acknowledged by dental professionals in every developed nation. What we've done, it's also worth noting that there really hasn't been any advancement in the aftercare of dental appliances since the advent of the soaking tablet, which came out in the late 60s and the early 70s. Since then, no one's really paid any attention to it until HyGenie in October. What we've identified is based on the Australian therapeutic guidelines for optimum aftercare of dentures. So optimum aftercare of dentures also applies to any type of dental appliance. And that care protocol comprises three essential elements. One, rigorous but safe brushing. Two, soap-based cleansing. And three, dry storage and safe storage of clean dental appliances. And that is what our brand, our concept, our brand, and our products do. They facilitate a rigorous brushing, but in a safe environment that's not handheld or open to risk, the risk of dropping, the risk of breaking, the risk of losing that appliance. expensive and difficult to replace appliance. We've custom formulated a cleansing gel, which is specific, designed for one reason, and that is to wash dental appliances, wash away the germs, the food particles, the biofilms that collect on those. It's a bit technical. And also our products are self-contained so that they're washed, rinsed, and stored in the same device so that it eliminates the entire risk of handling those when being cleaned, whether at home or whether at an institution like an aged care facility, to be specific.
Well, that's obviously a very deeply thought out solution to a problem that you highlighted there, and this obviously is backed by research and understanding and quite an experienced team, which we'll get into. But before we get into that, obviously the market's a great determinant of the product that's been created and the value that is perceived. So perhaps you could tell us about what the market feedback has been to date. I guess both from an end user perspective and even the medical community as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, very good question. And before I answer that question, I want to just speak to your comment about the thought that went into the development of HyGenie. We founded, Dr. Mark Weatherspoon, who's the inventor of the product, and myself, who's the co-inventor. We founded the project, or started the project, in October of 2014. It took us 5 years and a little bit over $2 million, I think close to 2.2 million Aussie dollars, to launch the business. Before we were comfortable, satisfied with the product range, it took us 5 years to develop the product range, trial it, test it, and until we were satisfied and we believe the market would be satisfied. So yeah, I think to suggest that an awful lot of thought went into this is pretty accurate. A lot of thought, a lot of time, a lot of trial, and an awful lot of money. Now, since launching the product, to answer your question, since launching the product in November, we launched in November of 2019. Mm-hmm. I have to say we're very happy with the progress and the traction that the business has gotten. We are now trading in 13 countries around the world, having just onboarded Israel this past month in April of 2022. We're now trading in 13 countries. We have 17 in those countries. We have 17 resellers and/or end user resellers and/or distributors who distribute the product to resellers. Year-on-year sales growth of just under 40% from our first full year of trading into our second full year of trading. We have a pretty good barometer of the consumer response is the take up of our consumables. So in addition to the core product range, the core cleaning, storage, and protection products, there are consumables, which include the cleansing gel and the replacement brushes. And whilst I think we can do better at that, we currently have a 25% return rate. So 25% of the customers that will buy an initial core package from us come back and continue to use the consumables. That's on the consumer side. On the distributor side, or B2B side, going into the dental professional network, in Australia, for example, which is the only market that we manage directly, we've got currently, just after 2.5 years in trade, we have 10% of the dental professional population in Australia utilizing our product, and that's growing on a month-to-month basis. So from those metrics, we're pretty confident that we've got a product that is ripe to grow very, very quickly worldwide once we begin to scale up.
Well, congratulations on those numbers to date. It's always, yeah, no, it's worthy of congratulations, and it sounds like you are on the doorstep of a rapid growth phase. You have the ducks in a row and the stars have aligned, and it looks like you are on the path to scaling. Now, before we talk about that outlook, because it's going to be an exciting question, what the future holds for this venture, but how about some key milestones that have been hit since we last spoke? I've seen some brief news coming in, but perhaps there's some one or two ones that you want to highlight for the audience who watched this last time.
Yeah, I think the really key milestones, and I've touched on them briefly, are the number of first of all, it's the number of markets. Again, I remind the audience, and I have to remind myself too, as a founder, as the CEO, as the managing director, it's never happening fast enough for me. It's why isn't this growing faster? But I have to remind myself that really we've only been trading, whilst that I've been involved with the project from day one, and it's going on 8 years, we've only been trading for 2.5 years. And in those 2.5 years, we have successfully launched the business in 13 territories, including Australia. That's a key milestone for us, and it's a key validation of the need and the want for the concept, for the brand, referred to it as the brand. Another really a key milestone is having launched the business on a trial basis in the US, which is really our next major focus for the business. And having now 4 multinationals between the United States and Europe looking at the brand and the products as a potential solution. Multinational suppliers of removable dental appliances, they're looking at the brand as a potential solution for their companies, for the dental appliances that they provide, whether it's in the US or worldwide. Another key milestone is having launched in the UAE with a company called PharmaPal Drugstore LLC. And whilst that may not, be as exciting, having launched in the UAE, PharmaPal is the largest pharmacy distributor in the UAE and GCC countries. But what makes that a milestone for me is it's our first foray into bricks and mortar retail. To date, we have had success in D2C and marketplaces like Amazon.com, Amazon.com.au. We're looking at Flipkart in India at the moment. Also, Amazon in India is in development at the moment. But our first real foray into bricks and mortar retail is coming through PharmaPal in the UAE, and that's a real milestone for us, because ultimately, when the business has the traction and can afford a bricks and mortar retail on a wholesale basis, that's really kind of the end game from the business model perspective, to be on marketplace, D2C, B2B, and in direct retail. So those are really the 3 key milestones. The number of territories we're in, having launched the business B2B in the United States through Whitmix, which is a renowned and very well-respected dental product supplier in the US, and PharmaPal in the UAE, which has an online business called Maison Dentaire, and the PharmaPal drugstore chain, which has about 800 stores that they serve.
Some very exciting initiatives, and it still goes back to what we spoke about earlier about you guys being on the doorstep of rapid growth, and on that scale up, in that scale up phase that we so often hear about. Now, I guess, without, you sort of highlighted where you're heading or what your priorities are over the next year, but is there anything else you'd like to tell the audience as a parting question in terms of a 6 to 12 month outlook for Dr. Mark's HyGenie that they can anticipate or look forward to, especially for those who are perhaps prospective investors or even clients in this company or partners?
Yeah, Sidney, I think that the easiest way to springboard into that answer is to say that what we've done to date, and I don't mean to downplay it at all, but what we've done to date is have prosecuted a very successful trial. We have proof of concept in a big way. We have proof of concept. We have proof of market. We have proof of desire of market. What we don't have at this stage are really drilled down market economics, the market economics, the cost of acquisition. We are still an early stage business, notwithstanding all that we've accomplished in the last 2.5 years. We're very much an early stage business. And we're currently looking to raise, we're in a $2 million early stage capital raise, which is going to allow us to really build on the base that we've developed, that trial, drill down into the markets, drill down into the market economics, drill down into the cost of goods and scaling of the marketing that we need to do to really establish the business in the US. And that's what the focus, that's what the next 12 to 18 month focus of the business is. It's all about proving the economics and scaling up everything that we've accomplished so that we can just explode into the US market. And that's where the big return on investment is going to be, in that we believe that getting into the US market will allow us to 5x, maybe even 10x the current numbers that we operate on, which will then attract a larger organization, or attract larger organizations to be looking at us for acquisition or partnering or alignment or ultimately a trade sale.
Very exciting goals to be kicked, and we can't wait to follow your journey, Stephen, and hopefully we can have you on again when you're spreading the good news in a few months' time about drilling down on those market economics and really mastering those and validating those markets that you're about to enter. And it'd be great to see the growth that occurs because of that. And thank you again for joining me today. And for those who are interested in speaking to Dr. Mark's HyGenie or Stephen about potentially investing in this venture, we will have the deal room link on the side of the screen, as well as the contact details to progress those discussions. And Stephen, again, thank you so much for joining us on CRIISP TV.
Sidney, thanks for the opportunity, and we look forward to any inquiry about the business coming through CRIISP in our deal room. There's lots of information on the deal room, and anything that's not there can always be gotten directly from me. Always happy to talk about our business.
Excellent. Thanks, Stephen.
Bye for now.